Hey, what's going on, y'all? Shoot, I actually should have mentioned this like maybe two weeks ago. But my stuff, if you notice, like there's like a drop in like not views, a drop in like content, I guess. It's because I got struck. I got struck. I think was it copyright? No, it was some sort of like some world content. I'm not sure, but basically like it was a video, and it was like this Indian dude speaking, and they're people are mishearing it as like he's saying the N-word, N-word drinking, and then I don't even like, I don't know. You see me, I'm just like, that is the video. I tried to appeal it, didn't work. So I was cut for like a week, but for some reason it didn't like drop after a week. It dropped like after like 12, 14 days, something like that. So I couldn't make content, I couldn't upload, I couldn't do much of anything. Also, I considered making a name change, but I'm thinking about it and I'm like, it just looks too plain. So I might just go back to my old name, Theo Hybrid, versus like Theo and Uncle Theo. Funny fact, I actually created the name Theo because of a guy from church. His name's Theophilus, and I actually like that name. I'm like, oh wow, that is a very nice name. It's like legendary. I'm like, wow, that's a cool name. And then I considered it. Actually, another big reason was I was starting to change my views in terms of like my Christian faith. Now, don't get me wrong, I make all types of like goofy content, and also I'm pretty opinionated, so I'm trying not to be so opinionated, because I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. And so I was trying to create a different channel, or at least a different name change to reflect that difference. But then I look back and I'm like, no, this is very boring looking. I had it with Roman Reigns, like what? I think that was the better one. But I looked at it like this isn't colorful. It doesn't capture my eyes. And the short name, I don't know. I don't know if I have the pull to justify a change like that, because I guess it's almost like branding. Like, people will know you as a thing like this, And I do this because I like to make jokes. And I don't know. I just feel like to some degree I have like maybe a performance bug almost, so like an entertainment bug. I do like to make folks laugh. So, and I share things I find funny, pretty much. But yeah, I guess I want to give some context. And also sometimes, like if you see me make like a video per day, and then like a couple days later, maybe 2 or 3 generally, I make like 6 of them after that. That's because I'm compensating for like being lazy. I'm like, I don't want to make that. And then I like, just try to compensate for making like 5 or 6 of them. But yeah, that dip and like that, like, for a whole week, yeah, it really kind of, excuse me. That was why I got a channel strike, which is somewhat of a good sign, somewhat of a bad sign. I think if you get 3 strikes, you're out. So your channel is done. But also, I guess you say I'm demonetized. I don't have any money to begin with. But I'm still, another thing I do want to mention, I have reached the 1 million views mark, which I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I like making shorts. I like replying to stuff. I've noticed also my videos, some of them are being just removed. They're being deleted due to either somebody editing it or some other reason. They changed it. Do I have a criticism? I got one. I guess maybe not. I guess that's not so important. Again, this is me being opinionated, and I'm trying not to be so opinionated because I say some stuff, and some of that stuff is ignorant, and some of that stuff doesn't have the full context, and some of it is just me theorizing. So I'm trying not to be that guy, even though it may just happen. So I'm just trying not to stir the pot so much. So yeah. But yeah, when folks say like, oh, your content is not really, not a lot being done, I'm like, come on, man. So, like, I'm not the only person doing this, and some people are not doing. They're doing less than what I'm doing. You know, they don't even generate content. You know, or some folks generate AI, or some folks just, I don't know. They don't really do a lot. Yet they're known for just pumping out content, and that's really all that matters in the grand scheme of things, is that you pump out content, somebody likes it, somebody enjoys it. It actually reminds me, one good example of this is the Daily Dose of Internet. He just tells people, hey, this is like 5 seconds of what, you know, it's not like clever tricks and advertising. It's just like, hey, here's what the video's about. And then he delivers. That's something I like personally, but also I understand, like, there's some marketing tactics that are required. You know, you say some stuff that brings people in, to draw people into your videos. You say, you know, like a punchy title. You say some content, make some content that's really punchy in the first few seconds, because again, people like, they need like what, maybe 5 seconds of like interest before they just tune out. So if you're not saying anything particularly interesting within a short period of time, they're not going to be sticking with you. And this is something I learned when I checked out my analytics. Oh, people are only staying for about 5 minutes. All right, let me reduce my content from long form content into short form content. And that's what I started doing, and I got some good stuff. And again, I shared stuff I thought was funny, and apparently other people think that too. So I was doing fairly okay. But yeah, that's what that was. So that's my reason, that's my explanations, and that's my update. So I apologize for not really pumping out content. Sometimes it's laziness, but I think there's other reasons that are a little more legitimate. And you know, I've had criticisms, and part of that is somewhat of a good thing. You know, if people didn't like you, they wouldn't care. You know, they just wouldn't engage you. So, you know, I think having people who disparage your content in a non-healthy manner is a good sign. But also, making more effortful content takes a lot more time. You know, I used to make other content. Sorry, I am rambling. I'm sorry. Other content just takes up a lot more time. So if I wanted to make a skit, you know, like a Trey Rags, now Trey Rags kind of, you know, kind of here or there. You know, sometimes the stuff is like, oh, that's dark humor, and then something's like, ooh, that's really oof. You know, so that's just his thing. He, you know, we have a negativity bias, so he'll say some really negative jokes, and people kind of like that. It's kind of a shock value. It's like Long Beach Griffin. So people will find content. You know, people will find their content. Oh, sorry, I don't think I continue my explanation of the name. So Theo Hybrid, if anybody figured it out or learned it, I'm a Christian, and I don't always make exclusively Christian content. Sometimes I do, but the Christian Hybrid, the Theo Hybrid is initially the Theo, it was from a church member, and I thought his name was pretty cool, so I put it in there. Another thing is Theo is divine, and it's kind of a tag to like my Christian stuff. And I initially made it on it was like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, one of them from software games. I dubbed it that because I thought this name sounded cool, but also, you know, hybrid is kind of like a mixture of two things. So it's more so the consideration of having mixed content of things that are not explicitly Christian and things that are also Christian. And initially I kind of considered that to be, well, I may come off as a bit hypocritical because I don't always have Christian content, and some of the jokes I make is a little low taste, low brow. But I try to keep myself somewhat clean. It's not always gonna be clean, but it's somewhat clean. And I try to watch my mouth. But that's the main context of my channel. The theme of it is that it's gonna be Christian, but it's gonna be sometimes not explicitly Christian. But my hope is that I am ultimately sharing like maybe like a realistic form. Like, you know, we make jokes, we point out stuff that's funny, that's a little strange, but ultimately, you know, I don't do this very well, but I would love to eventually create some feasible content that surrounds the hopecore genre almost. But I know that's not true, you know, and that would be hypocritical for me to be like, you know, I want to promote Christian values and things of that nature, because my channel does not accurately reflect that. But what I do want to share is just, you know, I want to make entertainment, you know, and I want to entertain people in a, eventually one day, a sophisticated way. And I used to do it, you know, I used to draw, I used to do all types of stuff. But then I realized, like, I just was not getting the views with versus the content. I used to actually, one of the things I did was I found some comments that I found to be interesting. I would voice act those comments. I would do a drawing, and I would basically just create a video using a collection of stuff I had found on the internet, and people actually liked it. But it just wasn't long enough, you know. I guess I just wasn't generating the content that I wanted, or at least the views that was to content ratio, you know. So I slowed down from doing it. And sometimes I still get inspired, so I will draw stuff, you know, but just couldn't keep doing it, you know, especially if I was not inspired and stuff like that.